Welcome back to Algebra 1. Here I think things start to get really exciting and interesting because you're starting to learn how to solve equations in algebra. And so far we've learned how to do it whenever your equations require addition and subtraction. And now we're going to learn how to solve equations that require multiplication and division to solve. And you'll find out that once you know the general idea that I've been teaching you, it's all very simple. Now remember, when we're solving equations, when we have addition, the opposite of addition is what? Subtraction. And if you have subtraction going on, the opposite of that, if you need to get rid of something, is addition. So those make sense. So let me ask you a question. If you have multiplication in a problem, what do you think the opposite is going to be? The opposite of multiplication is going to be division. And if you have division going on in a problem, what do you think the opposite is going to be? The opposite is going to be multiplication, because multiplication and division are opposites of one another. So that's what we're going to use to solve all of these problems. And once you kind of get the hang of it, it's all very simple. Now, if you have the equation 8 times x is equal to 16, how do you think you would solve it? All right, so there's no addition going on here. You notice how in all the previous problems we had to add or subtract to get x by himself. Now we have multiplication going on where the 8 is being multiplied by the x. So in order to get rid of this x, we need to do the opposite, or get rid of the 8. We need to do the opposite, which means we need to do division. So the way that you write it is just like this. You rewrite the equation and say 8x, and you divide the left-hand side by 8, because we want to get rid of that 8. And on the right-hand side, in order to balance the equation, everything has to be done to both sides. Remember, you can do whatever you want to an equation as long as you do it to both sides. So here, I've divided the entire left-hand side by 8, and I've divided the entire right-hand side by 8. Now, what's going to happen on the left? You have 8 times x divided by 8. So you can kind of sort of ignore the x there and just sort of read it as 8 divided by 8 here, because this